Good evening. This is Mike Raffone Gadian, and you are listening live to CTN Access Ann Arbor. First, I would like to talk about PA announcing, then move on to piano and organ playing, as well as mascot performing. And then, if I have time, why I like Ann Arbor, as well as reading a poem and doing some jokes. So, imagine you are at a football stadium, and out of nowhere, a voice from the sky booms down at you. It's God talking to you. No, of course not. It's the PA or public address announcer. The PA announcer's main job is to inform the spectators, officials, coaches, and players of what is happening on the field, court, or ice. So he will be announcing any game-related information such as the welcome, closing, lineups, anthem intros, touchdowns, goals, baskets, fouls, substitutions, timeout reads, etc. Now, most PA announcers will be in the press box, scoring table, or similar booths. They are just a small but important team of people helping to create the best fan experience. Other people that do this are scoreboard and video screen operators, organists, if any, recorded music operators, like DJs, and others. All are cued by a production manager who makes sure everyone is on board at different times. For example, if I were part of the stadium production team for a Lions game, filling in for Ford Field PA man Mr. Terry Braverman, who also announces the MSU Spartans, doing that specifically since 2002, I would need to know when to greet and say goodbye to the fans and do pre- and post-game announcements. All game information would be relayed from my offensive and defensive spotters, who look through their binoculars and say who carried, who passed to who, if and what kind of flags that are thrown, where the ball is at, who made the touchdown, who will attempt the field goal, if it's good or not, who won the coin toss, the team, and whoever the first and second half kickers are, and who is deep to receive. Quickly, here's a shout out and an example of how I would do game announcements for the Lions. Now, I hope I don't kill the camera operator's ears. This may peak your sound, but we'll see. Chicago has won the coin toss, but will defer to the second half. Kicking off for the Bears, number 68, James Daniels. Deep for the Lions, number 13, TJ Jones. Jones receives the opening kickoff. Ball will be placed on the 25-yard line. First down, Lions. Stafford's pass was complete to Jerome Cunningham, brought down by Kyle Fuller and Rick Wagner. Gain of 9 on the play. Ball on the 48-yard line. First down, Lions. And that's how it's done. It may seem a bit complicated at first, but once you get the hang of it, it's not hard whatsoever. See, I was inspired by Carl Graventine, who currently does PA for Michigan football, and the band, was drawn to his booming style voice and hone style. Got started in 2006 at Ann Arbor Pioneer as a student. I did basketball and still do to this day. The freshman and JV boys, JV girls, and for both varsities specifically, I would fill in. Followed by 2008 varsity baseball, then freshman and JV boys soccer, girls JV soccer, filled in for varsity again, girls JV field hockey, and I did varsity for a while until John Turk took over. Sub for varsity. I was the announcer for a few JV and varsity softball games, including 2 varsity games at U of M, a few freshman and JV baseball games. I actually was the announcer for JV and varsity girls lacrosse, did a few freshman and JV and varsity boys lacrosse games before Chuck White did theirs. Also did a few freshman and JV football games too, maybe a varsity half or a varsity quarter. I was very busy. Currently, I do just the basketball games and do varsity girls volleyball. You know, to be a good PA announcer, you have to stay hydrated, be serious, but don't be afraid to add a little bit of humor to the game. You know, just relax, speak clearly, and learn to enunciate, get the players' pronunciations, know the sport, and use a good quality microphone. And plugging that in is as easy as PA Pie. If using an XLR to quarter-inch adapter, first connect the female end of the cord to the male on your microphone. So this is where I'm going to demonstrate. So here, let's say you have the, you need your XLR to quarter-inch adapter, your microphone, of course. What else are you going to use? And you'll need a stereo, I guess I could say like a quarter-inch adapter, quarter-inch mixer. So here's what you do first. You are going to take your quarter-inch to, XLR to quarter-inch adapter, plug your female end into the male end of the microphone, like so. Then you're going to simply, in this case, you're going to plug the stereo or quarter-inch adapter to one of these outlets in the back. You want to do input. And now, to plug that in to a wall socket, just take the AC power supply cord, plug this in like so, and then, of course, your DC power supply will go into the wall or wherever your power outlet is. And that is that for this one. So now I'll show you how to connect your microphone to an XLR mixer using two XLR 3-pinned cords. So let's do that. So, excuse me, just one second. Put this down here and... All right. Now, let's take it up a notch. Let's say you want to hook this up to an XLR mixer, such as this one right here. But you want to add a muting box to it. This is how you're going to do it. First, it's the same concept. You're going to take one of these XLR cords, take your female end, like so. Again, just like what we did before, female to male in the microphone. Just like this. This is what it's going to look like first. Then we're going to take your muting box, which, for example, looks like this one. This one looks, how should I say this? It looks similar to this. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one end of, you're going to take the male end and take it and hook it up to your female mic input. Just like this. Then, pretty easy, you just take this end, this cord, I should say. Again, you're going to take the female end and plug it into, you take the male end, plug it into your female, and the other again to your female to your male output. And that is pretty much it for your connections. And if unless something goes wrong, your microphone and muting box should work just fine with this setup. So I'd like to thank you for watching my demonstration. I was a little tongue-tied, but, you know, hey, that happens to the best of us, right? So, just going to set this aside, and at least I have a pretty good knowledge of how to do it. All right, so moving on. Teleprompter. Okay. Now, everyone has embarrassing moments, but one of them that sticks out the most is when I inadvertently turn off the scoreboards during a girls' basketball game. I was just fiddling with my phone charger, and in the process, I accidentally hit the power button for the surge protector, and the scoreboard controller, which just happened to be into the power strip, was there. And when I turn off the power, of course, there's not going to be any electricity to the scoreboard. So, lesson learned: focus on the game, not your phone. I think I actually forgot a foul too. If I could announce anything, it would be horse racing. I look up to former track caller, as they're referred to, as Tom Durkin. He voiced Aqueduct, Saratoga, and other New York racing tracks such as Belmont. One of his most funny calls, that sticks out to me the most, was dealing with the tongue twister. It was Yaka Hika Mika Dola. Yes, say that 10 times fast and I will truly be amazed. What was really cool was to announce my first 2 full college baseball games. Both were with Cleary University. I have a shout out to both Double K, also known as Carl Kling, head coach, and their director of athletics, Mr. Ward Mullins. The first game was played the day after Easter 2018, April 2nd, as a doubleheader at Lansing's Cooley Law School Stadium, home of the Lansing Lugnuts, single-A affiliate of the Toronto Blue Jays. After finding a last-minute backup when Xavier had to cancel on us, first game was against Davenport University. The second game was against Ann Arbor Concordia. Cleary won, I believe, both games. Not entirely sure, though. I think that was the case. It was more exciting because it was this... I also announced a game at Comerica Park. Second, that was more exciting because it was single at Comerica, home of the Detroit Tigers. I did the 9-inning contest and afterwards announced the Senior Day ceremony. It was just absolutely amazing. Other shout-outs in this segment are to my parents, Jamie Smith, John Turk, and Carl Graventine, now for organ and piano playing, and mascot performing. I'll be brief since we are running out of time. I had lessons for 7 years, so shout out to Linda Marshall, my awesome Kansas-born piano teacher who came here and taught. I quit, now I play by ear, compose, and attempt to put the right and left hand together. It is rather difficult though. I do try. I play on occasion at different churches. I grew up Catholic, and one of the churches I played at and attend is St. Francis of Assisi. A shout out to their music director, Jonathan Hasey. In fact, a few weeks back, I played 3 songs: Prelude of Seek Ye First in D major, Opening of Glory and Praise to Our God, and then the closing was O God Almighty Father, and I did have a blast doing so. Piano is okay, don't get me wrong, but I prefer organ better, because with the piano, you only have one sound and one row of keys. Less exciting, But with the digital or pipe organ, you have 2 or more rows of manuals, as they're called, flip-down stops or pull-out stops on either side of the organ or in the center. You got couplers, you got chamade reeds that look like diaphone horns that are pointed vertically out at you. I mean, you can make a pipe organ digital or digital organ sound so soft and romantic, but when you pull out all the stops, watch your hearing, you'll get a ridiculously deafening sound and won't sound as pretty. The reeds, since there's only 2 types of pipes, reeds and flues, the reeds overpower the flues in that instance, both on the pedals and the manuals. In fact, when I use tutti or all the stops. I have to wear my 3M Peltor X5A earmuffs for my own hearing protection, and I do like to go wild on the organ. I actually taught myself how to play the organ. Didn't take very long. I also play the piano from time to time with Steve Osborne, owner of Oz Music on Packard here, with No Obstacles, which is K-N-O-W, No Obstacles, which is a special needs band, and I like to play with them from time to time. And so lastly, I would like to talk about my mascot performing and the other stuff if I have time. I have played Yogi Bear, an eagle, a yellow dog, have my own bulldog mascot. I played Louie the Lightning Bug and a turkey. I love playing mascots because I do it for the kids. You know, to have a kid see a mascot can give them a smile. However, just like clowns, mascot performers can also scare them as well. I have experienced that. It's sad to see, but I don't want to scare them. Of course, it's not my intention. I do it for the opposite, to cheer them up, to make them laugh. You know, some drawbacks to doing this including not being able to speak since I love to talk, unable to see well, you know, I can see okay, but not great. I get soaked to the bone in sweat, and the kids try to chase me when I chase them. I guess I cause my own trouble there. But when you do it for someone else, you just let those drawbacks go. And really, it's not what you want, but a small price to pay. It's what they want. I mean, you are really making a difference when you volunteer your time. I have two funny experiences to share while doing mascots. One time while attending WCC, or Washtenaw Community College, I was Louie the Lightning Bug, or One Heart Walk in 2008, and then, now that I think about it, in 2010 too. I was Shooter from the Plymouth Whalers, now the Flint Firebirds. Well, anyway, the 2010 Heart Walk event is where the funny event actually occurs. I arrived, and a little while later I wanted to put on the costume. So I put on the head and body, but the fact of the matter was that it was way too big, and no one really helped me tie it. So we had a mascot race, and was forced to race holding up my suit. If it were to fall, only thing showing, thank God, would be my shorts. But it probably looked hilarious to the audience, and people were probably thinking, I've never seen a mascot hold up his suit pants. Of course, as usual, I lost. Forgot who won. Another time is pretty similar. I was actually at Ann Arbor's Brookdale Senior Living and was playing Santa Claus. My suit was way too big, so I asked if they had some suspenders. They got me a pair, but still it was loose. So on their cue, I go out and start ho-ho-hoing. You know, I do whatever, I wave. As I walk around, my suit pants, which had the stuffing and pillows in them, the stuffing and pillows were actually coming out almost immediately. And they said, hey Santa, you're losing your stuffing. And I said, talk about embarrassing. They were laughing with me, not at me, though I wasn't really sure at that point. I think that was the case, though. And so I played the Easter Bunny, too, for the first time this past spring. And so I think I got a phone interview, and, you know, they hired me right on the spot. We signed some paperwork, and I just had a great time. I actually did a soft grand opening, and you know, people could get pictures if they wanted to. The first day, not so many people, but the second got a lot. And the more I did it, the more people I got. I actually only did 3 shifts. Literally drenched in sweat. You know, most Easter Bunny suits and services are provided by Noor Cherry Hill programs. Mine had a blue velvet coat, black glasses, a colorful bow tie over the blue jacket, was the white body. I had white snap-on feet and white paws. It was so fun. I got a few smiles, a few cries, but that's to be expected. Well, I guess it's time to tell a few jokes and why I like Ann Arbor. Here's why I like Ann Arbor. Briefly, I like Ann Arbor because it's a very diverse, multicultural city. make great friends here. You got great dining and shopping experiences to do. And here is a poem I'd like to read. It's called The Noise Guy. There once lived a man named Patrick Deloise. He loved one thing, which was to make noise. He'd bang a big drum. He'd toot a loud horn. Most people wished that he was never born. The big problem was he did this to scare. They didn't like it. Of course, he didn't care. He'd make noise at night, kept neighbors awake. Maybe this hobby was a great big mistake. Besides drums and horn, he had a siren and bell. He loved what he did, if you couldn't tell. One day they just had it. It went on long enough. The people were angry. The people were gruff. He packed up his things and started to sob. He walked down the road. He longed for a job. A sign that he saw gave a new sense of hope. The contact guy there was Mr. McCrope. Patrick applied to entertain on the street as a one-man band. Boy, what a treat. He interviewed, got hired, and started the next day. He was so happy, what more can I say? The town liked what they heard. It was nice and was fun. He played and he played until the bright setting sun. And so to this day, he plays every hour. Come here and be happy. No need to be sour. Thank you. The reason I like doing poetry is because it's just absolutely the most best thing I could do for someone. It really makes their day. And I like the experience doing so, and I really get a kick out of it. Now I'll do a few jokes for you. Here's the first one. Knock, knock. Russian. Rush into my train, can't talk now. And here's the other one. Knock, knock. Soda machines. Soda machine's not working, is it? Ba-dum-ba. Well, anyway, that's actually about all my show today. I would like to, so I'll keep going, okay? I guess I'll do a few more, I'll just do a few impressions for you. This impression is pretty awesome, I think. This is the impression of a generator. Here it is. That's a pretty good generator, I think. This is a leaf blower. This is my best one of all, I think. The Federal Q fire engine siren. This is one you'll hear every time on the streets when they go by. That's actually pretty accurate, I think. This is my Goofy impression from Disney. Gosh, how's it going? Good morning, my name's Goofy. Now, actually, that's pretty good, too. So, I love entertaining, you know. I love impressions, jokes, announcing, playing the piano and organ. I mean, if you need someone, then I am the man for the job. There's nothing I like better than making someone's day by entertaining them. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a child, and I just quickly want to talk about my job. I work at Five Below on Arborland, in Arborland Mall, which is a plaza right near, well, it's right on Washtenaw Avenue. And I have a great position. I'm a cashier. I get to interact with so many different people. Here's a funny story that happened to me on Friday. We actually had a blackout. And for a good hour or so, I mean, I was just talking to a customer, and then all of a sudden, boom, it was dead. Lights go off, no fans, no motors. It was just like eerie quiet. And I said, whoa, when's the power going to come back on? And luckily, our manager saved the day. They flipped the switches for the main breaker, and it was instant power. And I said, let there be light. and there was light, just like God said in the Bible. So I think it was just, I said, I think it was just an amazing experience. Actually, when I was working at McDonald's, we also had a blackout, which was for a good, like over an hour actually. That was again scary. We actually had to throw food away because the machine where the cold stuff was getting warm, so we had to throw all that out and kind of wasting it. But that was it. Okay, well, looks like we're pretty much out of time. Thank you very much for watching CTN's Access Ann Arbor. My name is Mike Gadigan. If you need me, call me, and you will not be disappointed. Thanks for watching, guys.